This is kind of a consumer video. As of this video, there's a kind of big sale on like AliExpress, the spring or summer sale, but a lot of the other stores are doing again like kind of big sale events. And as you can see from the description, this is kind of a consumer one stating what's best for you. So single dynamic drive on the left, which is the Planar 03. I think everybody knows these by now. The middle one is the Manga T's, but these are just an example, which is a hybrid, and hybrids can consist of anything like dynamic driver, balanced armatures, Piezo, ESTs, Planar, as long as there's two of those at least to make it a hybrid. That fits there. And here is an OBA one. So kind of just quick discussion like pros and cons of each. Nothing really about price. That's because you can go from £20 to £25 to like £800 on a single DD. So yeah, that's what we'll talk about. So single dynamic drivers, obviously everybody knows the Blonde 03s, typically the cheapest. I know you can get some crazy priced ones. That's what they look like. Typically the easiest to tune, and they typically also have the most natural kind of sound, because the sound's only coming from one item. It's one driver. It's easy to tune because, as you said, it's one driver. You can fix it with mesh or vents or different type of driver like beryllium coating, different size, blah blah blah. But typically a lot of people do prefer dynamics because of their natural kind of sound, as you can see. Good old Planar 03. I do like single dynamic drivers on the whole. They do have that natural, like I said, the natural sound. Isolation, if that matters to you, isn't always the best because it needs to get a vent for it to work. The OBA is different, but I'll get to that. But yeah, as you say, there's some sales on. There's a lot of single DDs out there now. It's good they've actually made a comeback. Positives is, like I said, natural sound. Negatives is kind of like technicalities in high speed sections or complex pieces of music. The other two can beat it in a sense, but it depends on obviously your kind of budget and what you're after and everything like that. But I do like single DDs for the price. On the whole, out of probably all these three are probably the best. The way you beat them is normally money. So, for example, more money solves the shortcomings of a DD, for example. And yeah, so isolation is always the best, but they do have the most natural sound. They don't all have that, but that's kind of what I look for. Hybrids. So hybrids kind of exist to get the best of both worlds of technical performance and speed, and using a dynamic driver to do the lows. Some people don't really like the low end of balanced armatures, and I can kind of see because some OBA units struggle. OBA units struggle to do low end properly. Everybody likes the actual the hit, like the initial slam of a dynamic for bass, and everybody likes but a low end, so that's why kind of hybrids exist. These are the Manga T's, which are very well tuned set, so a good example. So this uses 6 balanced armatures to do mids and highs, and then it's got 1 DD for the lows. So the point of that is it uses the best of both worlds. So it uses the technical performance of armatures and makes they sound very clear to do the mids and highs, and then it just uses one dynamic just to do one part of the frequency. So this is why hybrids are good, but obviously these are $300 or so. But the purpose of that is that's doing a better job with 2 things, and that's doing with 1 is probably the best way to do it. You can get much cheaper hybrids, but it starts to get tricky to tune properly, which like OBA units over there. But obviously these are well tuned set by someone, or some people who know exactly what they're doing. Kind of the best middle ground, but but I like to pay to get that way. Obviously, you can get there's a lot of hybrids out there. Many don't do what they really like supposed to. Some do, for example this. But there's many good hybrids out there. There's also many bad ones as well. So you have to be careful of it. So like benefits of this is obviously detail in high complex pieces of music. This typically sounds clearer, is the best way to describe it, or instrument separation. Typically does a better job if it's a really well-tuned hybrid. But yeah, micro details, just everything sounds clearer is an easy way to describe it. Obviously, there's different ways of tuning it, but I mean, on the whole, with a good pair like that. Obviously, you can have different type of second signatures, but yeah, they are a good set of hybrids. They're easy to pair as well. The blondes are easy to pair as well. Imaging on this also typically is better than that. And yeah, so onto an all BA one. These are the high senior B5 Plus, which are 5 balanced armatures per side with no venting, which means these are got the best isolation. So if you do like stage monitoring, an all BA set for your use case is probably better, something like that. These two, like I said, are typically harder to tune because you've got so many drivers. Like I have a pair on the way, which I've got 12 balanced armatures per side, so 24 in total. Now that's way more complex to tune than that is. But if you can do it well, that would be technically superior than what I can do. So you've got 12 drivers trying to do the same job as what one is for range. Well, yeah, like a multi-BA is a negative, is low end normally. Like on these are more mid-centric, but a good set for low end is the Audio Sense T800s. These are 8 BAs per side, and these have 2 balanced armatures vented just for the low end. That's it. And the only vent on these is for the woofers, so they work quite well in that regard. They're kind of a rare set. Most BAs don't do low end like the T800s just off there. Positives of all BAs is again like the hybrids, technical performance. So like I said, like it uses 2 woofers for the low end. These are kind of a rare set because they only can not all do that. Have that as kind of Knowles armatures for the low end. But yeah, normally hybrids exist because armatures like these, they can't hit low end like these two, like a dynamic driver. And then obviously you got the crazy like hybrids from the Unique Melody Mest with bone conduction as well. So they try and use every single driver type inside to their best. So they have no negatives and only positives. But again, you're paying like $1,400, $1,500 to gain that last 5%. Obviously, diminishing returns hits bad. Like £20-25 for a blonde. Are you really going to enjoy your music more than the $300 set of the T and the $300 T800s? Obviously, it's all up to you. But on the whole, most people will probably prefer the Blonde 03 just because one cost and just sound, because it's easy to listen to, kind of fun sound. These two are technically superior in ways. Well, these are mid-centric tuned, but like I said, the T's, for example, as a hybrid, are best of both worlds. You can obviously get really poor tuned, not always KZ and CCA, but some models you get really poor tuning, where they don't benefit from each other's drivers like they do. And yeah, I think that's it really. I like all kind of types. Like I've got a crazy 12 BAs per side one on the way. which should be technical monsters if them tuned right, but it hasn't turned up. Yeah, but again, like, that's why I do prefer a single DD, but a really nice hybrid like these does easily a better job than that does, but you're paying for that. And obviously it's tuned by somebody who's know what they're doing with quality drivers, uses Sony and Knowles armatures, if I remember correct. And I think that's it. It's kind of a consumer video. Obviously there's sales on at the moment. There's a lot out there to buy. You pick what you want. But I think for normal casual use, these two are typically better. All BA units typically don't have much low end. So obviously some do, some don't. You just have to chop around. But yeah, I like all three types. But obviously as well, depends where you live in the world. If you have a lot of moisture and humidity and things like that, you want to kind of aim for single DDs because it seems to be less susceptible to moisture as well. Or if you work out a lot, probably single DDs are the ones. But if you do like, you're trying to get the best of both worlds, hybrids are typically the one. But again, there's a lot of different types, obviously, and price and everything like that. But yeah, I hope this video helps you pick kind of what you want. But I do like all three. Anything you want to know, just let me know in the comments as usual. Obviously, these two kinds, hybrid and all BAs, are typically the hardest to tune because it's a lot more complex with multiple crossovers and things like that. And they can be more finicky with the source. So you really need a cleaner source. Oops. So for example, these are, I think, like 8 ohm or 9 ohm. Which is incredibly low, but they have a low sensitivity, which is kind of weird. But yeah, as usual, just let me know in the comments anything you want to know. And yeah, thanks for watching and take care.